Just think about it for a second. A total stranger getting access to your phone's camera, or listening in through the microphone, even tracking where you are. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? Well, what if I told you that all of that could happen just by clicking one single innocent-looking link? Today, we're going to break down exactly how that's possible. It's a pretty scary thought, isn't it? The idea that some random link, maybe one a friend sent you or something you saw online, could basically be a backdoor into your private life. And the short answer is, yeah, it can. But how? How does that actually work? Let's get into it. All right, so let's dive right in. We're going to look at how a simple web link can be turned into a pretty powerful surveillance tool. And honestly, you might be surprised at just how easy the whole process can be for someone who wants to do this. So what makes this whole thing so effective is just how easy it is to use. You don't need to be some coding genius. These tools are built to be fast and super simple, which means someone with basically zero programming skills can pull off a really sophisticated attack. The whole operation really comes down to two main pieces of software that have to work together. So let's take a look at what they are and the specific job that each one has in setting this whole digital trap. Okay, this is where it gets really clever. You've got two tools doing two different jobs. Think of Stormbreaker as the engine. It's the thing that actually builds the malicious link and gives the attacker a dashboard to see everything they capture. But here's the catch. By itself, that link only works on the attacker's own local network. That's where ngrok comes in. Ngrok is like the bridge. It takes that local trap and puts it out on the public internet. So now anyone, anywhere in the world can click on it. So we know the tools. Now let's look at the actual anatomy of the trap. We're going to walk through the entire attack step by step, from what the attacker does on their screen to that critical moment you click on the link. And this really shows you the whole chain of events perfectly. It all starts with the attacker creating a link that looks totally normal. Then they send that link to you. You click it, and it takes you to a website that looks totally legit. But here's the thing. In the background, your device is already sending info back to them. The real damage, though, well, that happens in step 5.
For any of this to work, it all relies on deception. The link doesn't just go to a dead page. It goes to a website that's been designed to trick you. It plays on our psychology, right? A weather site asking for your location, that seems perfectly normal. A link for a video call that looks like it's from a coworker, that feels urgent. The goal is to make the request seem so logical, you don't even think twice before clicking allow.
So this is probably the most important part to understand. What happens the second you click that link? It's not just about what happens after you hit allow. Data gets captured even before you make that decision. And this is the key takeaway. Just visiting the link, before you even get a chance to say yes or no to any permissions, leaks valuable information. Your IP address, which gives a pretty good idea of your general location, along with stuff like your operating system and browser, gets sent to the attacker right away. The trap is sprung the moment you land on the page. This slide just lays it out so clearly. There are really two levels to this. If you see the pop-up and you deny permission, the attacker still gets a basic digital fingerprint of your device. But if you're tricked into clicking allow, you're not just giving them a little bit of info. You're basically handing over the keys to your device's camera, microphone, and location. So let's look at what this basic info actually is. We're talking about your operating system, so they know if you're on Android or Windows, they know the browser you're using, and they get your IP address, which is kind of like your device's mailing address on the internet. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but believe me, it's more than enough for an attacker to start building a profile on you or plan their next move. Now, if you do get tricked into granting permission, the whole game changes. The attacker doesn't just get a general idea of where you are. They can get a Google Maps link to your exact spot. They can get live pictures from your camera, and they can even listen in through your microphone. The invasion of privacy becomes total. Okay, so after hearing all of that, the big question is, how do you actually protect yourself from this? The good news is your best defense is incredibly powerful, and it's something you already have full control over. This is it. This is the whole thing. It doesn't matter how slick the tool is or how convincing the fake website is. The entire attack can be stopped dead in its tracks by one simple action from you. It all comes down to that little pop-up box that asks for your permission. We really need to start thinking about user consent differently. It's not just some annoying box you click to get it out of the way. It's your number one line of defense. It's the digital gatekeeper that decides who gets access to your personal information, and you are the one in charge of that gate. So what does staying safe actually look like? Well, it's about being more mindful.
First, always be a little suspicious of links you weren't expecting, even if they're from a friend. Their account might have been hacked. Second, and this is the big one, actually read the permission pop-ups. Just take a second and ask yourself, hey, does this weather website really need access to my camera? If it feels weird, it probably is. And if you're ever in doubt, the answer should always be no. Just deny it.
And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? In this world where we're always clicking, always trying to get to the next thing, are we really paying attention to what we're allowing? What this shows us is the very real risk behind those clicks we make without thinking. Maybe it's time we all started being a little more careful at the gates of our own digital worlds.